Hello again, everybody. I'm Elliot Shaw alongside Craig Haley, the FCS Senior Editor for Stats. Now, we're getting everybody pumped and excited for the FCS season starting this Saturday. Now, this time last year, a lot of people were talking about the 5 power conferences in the FBS and, how that could potentially, shape the FCS. What kinds of things, how has the FCS kind of been weathering the storm with that talk from the national level?
Sure, you're right, Elliot. I mean, the FBS, the power conferences want to break off on their own. I think that comes back to the FCS level. I mean, this time last year, all the commissioners on the FCS level were addressing that in preseason talks. I think a year later, the FCS has done a good job to weather the storm. I mean, their interest is high in the FCS. I mean, there's so many games televised these days. All the playoff games are on an ESPN platform. I think people have woken up to what the FCS is, and I do think the FCS schools, conferences, they're putting money into their facilities, into coaching hires. I think the FCS has done a good job. Everybody's still waiting to see what's going to happen with the power conferences on the FBS level, but everybody, I think, is a little more calmer this year.
Absolutely. So Division I football as a whole, the whole college football landscape, we're going to look into the future. Where would you say college football Division I-wise would be in 5 years?
Well, that would be a tough answer. I think there will be change. We know that. I think the FCS level especially is waiting to see what happens on the FBS level. But I think the top conferences on the FCS level tend to resemble the lower tier conferences on the FBS level, more so than the casual fan may think. So down the line, if the FBS powers do go off with autonomy, I think there could be some kind of change in Division I, the look, some kind of merger. I do think it'll work out well, especially for the top tier FCS.
Definitely.
Conference.
Now, the big question is, some of these programs really starting to, rise and get noticed. Which schools in the FCS, which programs would you say are ready to kind of make the jump to the FBS?
Well, I mean, I think the rush to do this isn't quite the same as it was a couple of years ago. But last year in the playoffs, Liberty went to James Madison. They played each other. Those are two programs that have aspirations of moving up. They've dabbled with the Conference USA or Sun Belt. Just hasn't quite worked out yet. Those are two candidates. I think North Dakota State, the national champion the last 4 years, they are ready. They've kind of denied it when asked, but I think at some point their fan base say, hey, let's do this. The alumni will pump money into this to make that move. That's very possible. Jacksonville State down in Ohio Valley Conference, that's a school that has a large fan base, and that's what you need. You need the infrastructure to make such a move. You want to have crowds of 15,000 or more. You want to have facilities. You want to be able to expand your entire athletic program to keep it working right. So I do think there are some potential candidates out there.
Well, that's great to hear, and I'm sure that's awesome for a lot of college football fans. The more teams, the better. That's what it's looking like. But for more information, statistics, or even more content from Craig, make sure to check us out at fcs.football. Also at Twitter at FCS_stats, and also give Craig a follow at Craig Haley. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for watching.